For years, the government has promised to reduce our energy bills. Constant promises to reduce the energy price cap to save us money, but bills are still costing more than ever before. Kingsmere Council has had enough of the political corruption and lies. With the support of the people, we're building the country's first self-sustainable energy plant. The aim is to supply cheap, affordable electricity locally while selling the overflow electricity to neighbouring counties to boost Kingsmere's economy. In this episode, we're going to be building a huge solar farm, creating more jobs, and building a brand new neighbourhood. Welcome to Kingsmere, a UK-inspired town with a sprinkle of my own creativity. If you enjoy my content, feel free to subscribe. You can also become a channel member for early access to new videos. But let's dive right in. Look. I know what you're thinking, Nebman. Where have you been? It's been ages. I know. And I've been dying to play this game and create some content for you. But quite frankly, my work is just too much at the moment. I don't have time to sit down in front of the computer and record. But we are back. I probably have time to record a couple of videos and we'll do that today. But I need to bring you up to date with a few changes that I've made when I've had the odd half an hour here and there. So a lot has changed in Kingsmere. The first thing you'll probably notice is I've adjusted this bus station down here. I know a lot of you said to turn it the other way, but it's kind of too far gone for me to spin it around. So what I've done instead is I've essentially just changed it so that it actually looks more like a bus station. The bus route is actually quite efficient because it leaves straight out onto the highway, as you can see down here, which looks awesome. Just a few little adjustments here and there. It is functional. Buses do come through here and stop, and yeah, it looks really cool. I am quite happy with it. I don't mind it at all. I think it's quite nicely detailed. I do understand the point that you wouldn't have buses reversing into here, especially with pedestrians waiting, but I don't mind it. I think it looks okay, and it's not a bad little bus station. Moving on to over here, I'm just trying to think of everything that I've done. We've got a few different style taxis over in our taxi bay as well. Although they are technically like Toyotas from Japan, but they look more like the UK's black cabs. So I thought I would implement them into our area as well, which is quite cool. I'm happy with that. I really do like this area. Okay, next thing that is new is, you'll probably notice, well, actually, over here, we've got a overpass crossing stairs. Struggling with that, I think. But we've got one here because we plan to expand out over this side, so we've got a crossing there. And then we've got the same over here too. Another little overpass crossing because we plan to expand into this area. You'll notice that we have this nice bridge which has a decent amount of clearance, and if you're eagle-eyed you'll notice there are a couple of buoys in the river. We are planning to expand up the canal, but more on that in a little while. Over here at our central kind of train station that we have, you'll see a lot has changed. So the train station is obviously still here, but we had a bit of a crisis with all of our buses and money and all that stuff. So nice few taxis at the taxi rank, but I've changed this bus station. As you can see, it looks slightly different. Basically I've put two of the normal bus stations next door to each other, tried to decorate it a little bit with a few bollard signs, a little kind of city things. That bus didn't just go through those bollards, I'll tell you that for free. Don't even think about it. But it's quite a nice little bus station. I think it's quite cute. Cool little place to have. Then obviously we've got our little seating area, waiting area back here, and we've got plenty of people wanting to use the buses. And we fenced off around this area, nice and detailed. Put a few sculptures along this slightly curved section here, which is pretty cool, which I'm really happy with how that looks. It just feels a bit more like we put a bit of effort into it, you know. And because of the congestion that we're facing with the amount of buses that we're running, over on this side here I've got a secondary bus station where essentially these buses serve different routes around the city. So yeah, all is cool around here, which is awesome. Right, there's so much more to show you, so I'll just carry on and hope that you won't get bored. So over in our old dock area, you can remember this. It looks really cool, really love it. Love it, love it, love it. But much to the request of many, many people, we've now got this fantastic pub right on the corner, which is really cool. Very much needed, I must admit. And then we've got a fish and chip shop as well. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of people waiting for this chippy. Yeah, but as you can see, plenty of food here. Scallops, calamari, prawns, seafood nuggets, sticks, everything you could wish for in our little fish and chip shop here. Right by the river, right by the pub, and right by the little port, which again is another very cool addition. Over in King Edward by the university, we've had a slight burst of high-rise block of flats. We just needed a bit more density, a bit more room for students to live in, so we've just added a few high-rise flats towards the centre of King Edward, which, to be honest, doesn't look too bad. I think it's absolutely fine. So yeah, we've added a couple of those in, which is cool. If we look down here, you'll see, oh my gosh, it's Tesco. Tesco. All the Tesco lorries are unloading in the supermarket over here, which again, so awesome. Really happy with that. So we kind of just made this into a Tesco. Right, sorry, where were we? I keep moaning about how difficult it is for me to record videos and stuff because of work, and literally as I was talking about Tesco, work called me, so this is the nature of the world that we live in. So I'm struggling, but I really love creating content, so I'll make it work. But yes, Tesco's trucks, awesome, they look fantastic. I'm kind of pretending this is a Tesco store without being able to put any Tesco signs on there. And also, nobody wants to work here, so whatever, we'll visit here, but still looks pretty cool like that. And then I want to talk you through a few things as well for the future, so let's have a little look. So first things first, you'll notice that we're losing a lot of money. Oops. But you'll notice that our crime has resolved itself. I have been playing around with it a lot, and we've managed to somewhat fix our crime problem, although it is absolutely drowned our economy. So we're going to try and fix that, which is why we're going to go with solar energy, see if we can export some electricity to kind of boost our economy a little bit from that process. So slow progress is better than no progress, which is fine, no problem at all. And then let me bring you over here so I can tell you what's going on in my brain. This area is going to be called Brixham Bay, and this area is going to be called Brixham. My thought process for this area is fishing town, village, old fishing area, loads of fishing boats coming out of here. Kind of, if we can squeeze in a small little beach, that'd be cool. You know, stuff that you get kind of on the south coast where you have your little fishing villages and towns, and then you've got like shops selling crystals and all that jazz. So that's kind of the idea for this area. Plenty of boats and stuff going in and out, which would be pretty cool. And then we've created this interchange kind of as a tribute to Brixham Bay and its potential future or past once we get round to it. But that is going to be later down the line that we do that. And then out of this section here, this will just be another element of Brixham, which will be kind of a town sort of area. But that's kind of the idea for down here. You'll notice that a lot has kind of changed over here. I've got rid of all the farms and sort of changed these roads, added these roads layouts here. This is junction 13, which is from the A4. This is the A33 that curves around here. And the main thing is that you kind of need to notice is I've ran this key all the way to the end up here. Two relatively raised bridges just up there, and the plan is we'll run this ferry line essentially all the way to the top here, connecting up the waterways, which would be great. You'll notice that this area is called Kingsgate. I'm trying to decide on what we do here to begin with. Initially I wanted a financial centre surrounding banking and stuff like that, essentially some taller buildings, but then I'm just thinking of how we're actually going to make that fit, because obviously we don't have much of a skyline, and a lot of the buildings, if we look at our skyscraper pack, they are rather tall. even these ones. I mean, they don't look horrendous, but they are a lot taller than you would kind of expect. So it's just kind of a matter of if we can kind of blend it in or not. We'll figure that out when we get to it. And then, yeah, so that's cool. Nice little road connection here. This is the A6. It's basically just kind of a relief road that branches round and then connects up to this main road by the prison. The train line, of course, goes over here. We've got Blackwood Bridge, which is this one. This is where our solar farm is going to go. This is Millbrook. This is going to be our housing area that we're going to be building today. So the Millbrook estate and then Millbrook the town. Put a nice train station in there, a couple facilities, and hopefully this will become quite a nice little area for people to live in. Yeah, again, really, really cool. This is all kind of future plans as well. For some reason, I managed to delete my entrance, so I've had to kind of redo the prison entrance, but I actually think it looks quite a lot better now. DHL lorry getting checked on the way out, of course, and yeah, a couple decals and stuff like that around here. I think it looks really nice, really sharp, so yeah, happy with that. Again, slight adjustments here with the rail yard. We've adjusted the tracks to make it look a bit neater and nicer, which is fantastic. And then probably something that you might be excited about, you'll see that I've penciled out this area has Blackwood, which is going to be a little town. We've got Blackwood Forest here, and we've also got Blackwood Quarry. I'm not going to go into too much detail because we'll cover that at some point in a future episode, but Kingsmere is not just going to be Kingsmere. It's going to have a little town connected to it, and there's history that will all make sense once we get to it. But that's later down the line once I have time to record. So let's actually try to focus on what we're doing in this video, which is building a solar farm and expanding our lovely little area over there. So let's try and crack on. One thing I forgot to say is look at this. We finally have a UK football stadium. This is Anfield, where Liverpool play, as you can see. You can upgrade it to the most modern version that they have, which has the upgraded stand, which is so cool. This is a beautiful stadium. Beautiful, beautiful stadium. Obviously, this is large. I think this is 32 by 32. And our current stadium is 19 by 23. So you'll probably notice that if I try and place that in our current area, it's just not going to fit at all. It's going to go into the water, go into the road, everywhere. It just won't fit. So we're going to have to think about what we're going to do with that new stadium, whether we build it somewhere else or whether we just completely try and rework this. I don't know just yet, but we'll have to think about that later down the line. I think that is a project later down the line, but that is such a fantastic asset. Oh my gosh, probably my favourite asset to come out of the PDX mod. So massive, massive win. Massive win. Shout out to DM Scopio. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. But anyway, the video. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. So I envision that this solar power plant is going to be rather large. We're going to probably combine quite a lot of different solar power stations kind of all together and make it look like it's one large solar field. That's kind of the idea that I want to kind of run with. So we're going to kind of just mark out this area for the time being. There's only so much detail that you can add to a solar power plant because it kind of just does itself. But the plan is I'm going to put down the plants, which will be these solar power plants. Can produce up to 200 megawatts, which is great. And if we have a look at here, you'll see that one of our main expenses is importing electricity. So we want to get rid of that expense, and then we want to sell it for more and more and more so that we actually start making quite a decent amount of money, because at the moment we're not. So that's the idea. So let's have a little go at potentially trying to sort this out. So that goes like that, and that automatically creates kind of a road between them, doesn't it? Like that. Yes, so we can kind of do it like this so that they actually just use the default vanilla roads, and then we can adjust them slightly. And I would like 4 of these, which I know it sounds like overkill, but it's going to be fine. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Just don't think about it and it'll be all right. So we're going to have the solar power farm kind of over there in that corner, and then we're going to work on trying to connect it up, decorate it, and make it look quite nice. So one of the main things that we need to think about is obviously water, sewage, getting all of that hooked up quite nicely early doors. So we'll do that. Just bring that out over here and hook you into there if we can. Thank you. That should... Good. Fantastic. I didn't think it was going to do anything then. And then I'm wondering where... Do we have a substation somewhere? We must do. Okay, there's a substation there, which is great. So what we want to do is we want to hook up some underground power lines. So essentially hook all of these up like so, and we want to hook this power circuit basically straight into this one, or not. Don't know why that didn't do it. We just want overlapping items. We just want that to hook up kind of straight into there, so that that electric then feeds into the city via here, and then yeah, sounds about right. Okay, so that is hooked up to the electric grid, which is great, and you can see already that we are making some bills. Look at this, exporting 2.2 million pounds worth of electricity. So that has already made a massive difference to us, which is fantastic. Really, really good. The only thing is, we've got nobody working here, obviously. So we need to try and hook this up to probably a road, probably around here somewhere, potentially. And then hopefully people will start working. My initial thoughts, I don't really know where to hook it up. I might just have it come round and down. I might give that a go. So let me just... I just want to break that off about here and just kind of see what we can do. So let's just do that. Nice and simple. I don't need to do anything too fancy with this, because ultimately not many people are going to be using this network. So if we just have that like that, that's got some nice giveaway signs, so it's not really going to impede the traffic too much, and it will just allow people to get to work. And you can see that people are starting to work. Obviously the efficiency is quite down. We're not producing as much as we want, but is there any upgrades that will help us do that? I think we should probably do all of the advanced tracking systems on each of them. I don't think we need the backup battery on any of them, because we're unlikely going to lose power from all of these. So that is decent. I got the connection in there. It's not the most ideal connection, but we can change that at a later date. But we want this to try and look a little bit more... Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to phrase it. I'm tempted to try and work in a little bit of waterworks to here as well. I think that would be quite a nice addition. Maybe bring the road out to here and have a small water plant, so then we can supply water to everybody else as well. I think that would be a decent sort of idea. And somehow we're losing money now, because we're not exporting too much. So yeah, I think we just need more people to start working here, which will produce hopefully more electric, and then we can export plenty more. So let's crack on and see what happens. So I'm just looking at my water, and to be honest, there's not a massive amount of water in this area, which is a bit annoying, and I probably should have thought about that. However, I think we could probably just about drag some out of here. So I'm going to work on trying to essentially flatten out a small area just around here, just to draw some water out. So probably I might just flatten it from that line here, just like that. And what I might do is just use this as a very small sort of water pumping station. So if I grab that and then try and curve that up on a hill there, and then probably what we'll have to do is just create a little bit of space there, soften that out just a tad so it blends in a little bit better, and then we're going to try to basically pull a road in. Actually, you know what, I'm going to put the ground water pumping stations in first, so we'll get rid of that. Just see how well these fit into our design. So we'll do that. It's not too bad. We just grab this and just try our very best to make a nice sort of road connection here. I'm not convinced that that's a great road connection, to be honest, but it is what it is. And try to pop a couple more of these just on the edge, because we're going to need a decent chunk of water, because we're not really producing any water at the moment. So one of those there, which is good. And I might change this road, because that's not quite how we want it. So we'll just grab that, try to straighten it out a little bit. And we'll just hook that in just into there, and we might be able to just squeeze one more of these groundwater pumping stations just over here as well, and that should hopefully bring us sufficient amount of water in that area. Once we soften this terrain, well, we said we'll bring that back and then try to soften it like this, hoping that that should blend it in a little bit better. Won't be perfect, but it'll be okay. And then we'll upgrade these with all of the upgrades, and that should produce sufficient amount of water for our lovely people that are going to be very thirsty or using the bath a lot, whatever you prefer to think. And I'll probably just do that in there for now. Okay. How much water is that producing? Okay, yeah, so we're over the limit, which is great. We just need to work on some sewage treatment as well, which we could probably utilise some of this space here. So let's have a look at our best options. Got the advanced water pumping station, which is not what we want. So we've got the water treatment plant, and we've got the Japan one as well. What is the Japan one? I think this Japan one probably looks more appropriate than this one, to be honest with you. So I think we're going to go with the Japanese one, and we're just going to whack that on the end here. I don't think that's too bad. I think that looks relatively okay. I might just shove it over just a little bit, probably to about here, maybe like that, and then for whatever reason that's not hooking up. And how much will that do? That should be enough, really, I hope. Let's have a look. Yes, perfect. So we are in all of the greens now for our services here, which is great to see. And are we making money? We are, and we're even exporting a little bit of water, which is good. So these should hopefully fizzle out to about 0 once all of our employees are working there, which in turn should give us a decent output and a decent chunk of money. But next, first things first, get rid of those, get rid of those, get rid of those, because those trees are just horrendous. Why are there floating trees here? I'm gravely concerned by this. Oh my gosh, there's loads of floating trees. What's going on? What is happening here? Spooky. Do I want this road here? No, is the answer. I'm just going to put few more trees in here. What trees do we want? Probably those ones are fine. Get rid of anarchy, and we'll just put a few more trees just around this to kind of cover it off a little bit, so it doesn't look so weird and kind of just stood out really. So we'll just cover that off a little bit just to kind of blend in just a smidge with the hill behind it, which would be great, just like that. Probably looks about right if you ask me. Cool, that'll do. And now we need to try and decorate this area just a little bit because, well, I mean, we could all agree that this curve is disgusting, but we might just have to ignore that, to be honest. What if we just did like a little roundabout or something just to make it less weird and curvy? Cool. Right, anyway, focus. Sorry, forward focus. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go. So the first part of my decorating that I want to do for the solar power plant is to just change these dirt roads so they look a little bit more dirt roady. I'm probably going to do that with actually all of these alongside the perimeter as well, and then I'd quite like to add, although we've got fences here, I just would like to fence off the perimeter as well, just to kind of keep our energy secure, because you know what it's like, somebody will want to come and destroy our energy plant for some reason or another. So we'll try and do that, and hopefully we'll have some sort of nice, a little bit better looking area. So I want this to hook to the road, but I don't want it to like snap to the corners like it's doing now, which is kind of a pain. So I'm trying to figure out, I might just have to kind of pick in the middle and then go from there. What does this one do? I think that'll probably do, to be fair, so we can probably just run that all the way along to here. I'd like to just curve that round, and then we can just run that all the way along the perimeter. Now hopefully this will look just a little bit nicer than kind of what we currently have. Cool, fantastic. So I'll do this with the perimeter. We'll see how it looks, and if it looks alright, we'll continue on. Okay, it's certainly looking a lot nicer now that we've changed these gravel roads. We've got a little bit of fencing around the outside here as well. A couple different surfaces within, and then just a couple of adjustments. But all of these gravel roads look really cool. A few decals here and there, same as in here. But it's all looking pretty nice at the moment. I just want to make it just a little bit more secure, so have like some sort of a gate or an entrance sort of thing here, so that not any old Tom, Dick and Harry can just walk in and start stealing solar panels and sticking them on their own house. So we're just going to have a small little gateway here, nothing too crazy, but just something quite simple and nice. So we want this little sign here to basically say, this is the electric service station, blah, 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 blah. So we want one of those, which we're just going to pop you there. And we're just going to have one on the other side as well, just so that people know what we are and what we're doing. We're going to have a very small booth, kind of like a security sort of checkpoint-ish sort of thing. We'll probably just have that. Or we might have this one. I think we'll have that one's probably the best one, I reckon. Just have that here and that here, just like that, nothing too crazy. And then we just want a couple of gates to go across, which will be just the standard like parking sort of gates like these, just to go through there like that. It's just kind of to add some sort of security to it, just so that it doesn't look completely empty and open. It's never going to be loads of security, but it's better than nothing, isn't it? Better than having nothing here at all. Just do that. Like that. We might see if we can just hook up. I think there is a wall that potentially might hook onto this one as well. Maybe some of these. Is that gonna... No, it's not quite the right brick, is it? No. Bit of a shame. I wonder what brick that is. Is it this? No. Meh. I mean, to be honest, we could probably do that. And then we can potentially move. Just kind of do that. That kind of looks as one. I think that'll work for us if we just pop that on the edge here. And I think it was this one. Yeah. And then we'll just create a small little wall around the outside of here. Just like that. We'll pop a little end piece on and then just twizzle that back into there with another end piece to just secure it in. And that maybe kind of looks a bit like a checkpoint-ish, sort of. Maybe not, maybe. Oh no, where's my walls gone? There we go. Let's try that once more on this side, just to make it a little bit more matchy-matchy. That'll do. And then we'll just basically copy the same sort of design just on this side, just so it kind of gives little vibes that there's something going on here that's... You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I can only mumble so much, so you kind of get the idea of what's going on here. We'll pop that in there. And then just whack that across here. Doesn't have to be perfect, because I can't imagine we're going to be here for a long time analysing all of this. So just a little kind of electric entrance. And then we might just put a very small kind of concrete surface, potentially underneath this section here. Just like that. Yeah, that'll do, I think. That'll probably do. Just whack that in there. That'll be our very small little checkpoint on the way in. So that not everybody can just wander in, although it doesn't really look like much, to be honest with you, completely. But we do our best. It might be worth if we just whack maybe a... Ooh, what should we put in the middle? Maybe some of these in the middle. Just to separate off the traffic ever so slightly. Maybe like that. I think that's alright. That's not too bad at all. Yeah, that'll do. And if I can get some decals or something... Ooh, what are these? Ooh. If I can get some decals just in here to make it look a little bit rougher, that would be pretty spot on as well. Not that. I don't know why I was even entertaining that for a minute. Just something to go within here. Even like that's fine, to be honest. It just makes it look that little bit more kind of used. Something like that. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Now we just need to trust the public not to just come around here and drive around here, of course. Because naturally that's what you'd do if you didn't want to be stopped. But hey-ho. I might grab actually a couple of stop signs just to imply that you need to stop. Well, I would say the plan is coming together quite nicely, because if you look, we are making a disgusting amount of money on pure green energy. Winner, winner. We are exporting so much electricity that we're just absolutely balling, which is fantastic for me. Well, fantastic for us. So this kind of idea is worked pretty well. It doesn't look too bad either. Yeah. I mean, it's only so much you can really do to decorate this, to be honest. But I think it's fine. I think it does its job. It functions. It's not really a massive amount more that we can do about it. I might just add like a riverbed thin surface within this section, but other than that, we're probably doing all right for our solar farm. There's just not masses that you can do to kind of decorate it up too much. So yeah, I'm happy with it, to be honest with you. I'm pretty happy with it. Something will probably come to mind at some point, which I'll start adjusting these things again. But I mean, it works, and we've got the energy, which is great. So yeah, happy with that. So I think we should probably start on Millbrook over here and see how we get on with that. You know what, I think scratch that idea, because Millbrook's going to take quite a lot of time, so we'll probably do that in one episode, all kind of as one together, because there's a lot to go in, like train stations, parks, schools, everything like that. So we'll probably do that all together, and I'll probably just see if I can touch up this a little bit better, add a few maybe trucks, stuff like that, just add a few more details to it, maybe a couple more bushes and trees around the edge in this area, just because I want it to I want to do a proper job on it, in short. So I'm going to try and do that. Hopefully we'll get something, make it look just that little bit nicer for us, just by adding a couple of bushes and stuff like that along these sections. Nothing too wild. And yeah, we'll slap those down. Hopefully that'll look alright. And once we've kind of finished detailing the solar park, we'll probably start on a new episode where we'll do Millbrook and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll just crack on with trying to detail this a little bit better, make it look a little bit nicer, and we'll go from there. I'm just setting up a small bus route as well, to allow our lovely people to get to work, because I can imagine it's quite the trek if you can't get to work. So I'm just going to hook that bus route up to probably... how would we... what does the route look like if we do that? It will be very simple, just down and up to Kingsmere Park. If we wanted to bring it into one of these, it would be much more of a faff, wouldn't it? However, if we were to add maybe a couple of bus stops to these main roads, we could actually have a slightly more efficient line. I think we should try that actually. So if we just add it so if we just add, that's going that way, isn't it? So if we just grab one of these on each side here, and the same just over here. I don't want it to create too much. Oh, there's already a bus stop here. Why does it look like that is the question. But if we just do that, and then that will come up here. Is there already a bus stop along this road somewhere? I mean, if we just add one into, let's say right on the corner here, somewhere really inconvenient, like that. And then we should be able to, hopefully, oh, wrong button, have a somewhat efficient line that kind of goes back down, just like that. Back up here. Do we want you to go into here? Yeah, I don't see why not. So that'll go in there, and then that'll just kind of do the return route as well. Just like that, all the way back to our solar power plant. It's just, it also helps people move around, but it also, well, it's help move people along these main roads as well. So extra little bus route, nothing too crazy, but hopefully that'll help us out just a little bit. And we'll go into our bus lines, and we'll obviously change this to Kingsmere Solar Farm, and we'll just change you to the correct colour of red. We've got a decent amount of people using these, some more than others of course, but transportation, yeah, not too bad at all. But we don't have enough buses. Boo! So all in all, I'm pretty happy with how our solar farm has come together. I think the dirt roads, the extra little props that we've added in, like cars and trucks and stuff, a few trees and surfaces, decals, they've all kind of brought this area together quite nicely. It's quite a large investment for Kingsmere and the surrounding towns, but certainly a worthwhile one as we're supplying very cheap and affordable electricity to our local homes, and obviously selling the excess for a very pretty penny. So we kind of resolved our money crisis, which is great for us. But the next thing we kind of need to resolve is our housing crisis. We need more residents, people. We need people to work. So we're going to build Millbrook in the next episode. Hopefully that'll look nice. It'll be falling back a little bit more to the British side of things in that episode as well, because as time goes on, we kind of coast away from all of the British buildings because we reuse them so much. But in the next episode, we'll certainly try and get back on track. But I'm very happy with this. Certainly worked a treat. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Good night.